everybody. Welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Glad to have you with us for another episode of the show. And today we're going to focus in on our history of entrepreneurs in Northern Nevada and past, present, and future. So we look forward to that. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang series, which depicts the wild Mustangs herd running free, a mare and its foal, the wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988, so ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Welcome, everybody, to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show, and my sidekick is with me today, Hugh Roy Marshall.
Hey,
and
John,
Hugh Roy,
how you doing?
good to see you. You're looking good today. You look like Johnny Cash.
There you go.
A man in black, right? And our special guest and a good friend of the show, Dave Asher, who fills in for me from time to time, and thank you for doing that earlier in July for me. Did a great job.
It's an honor.
Yeah, well, it is fun to host a show because you meet so many wonderful people
It's
here.
amazing.
And you get to be with you, Roy, and be in this beautiful room that we're sitting in right now. Sometimes we don't tell people where we're at. We're actually in the pool room at the Marshall Mansion. And like Roy always says, this is about a 2-year project and $4 million later, right, Roy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're sitting on furniture from the, 16th century?
Well, this all comes from the southern part of the United States, right around the Civil War period.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. General Lee could have been on there, right? Who knows? Anyway, Roy, you always are happy to tell us why we do the show and what you're up to on the Comstock.
Yeah,
so
you betcha.
We haven't had you on the show for a couple of weeks, so we're looking forward to everything that's going on. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
We do this show, as we always say, to bring pride to the people who live here in the state of Nevada, because we can be proud of a state that not only brought our first dollar bill into existence and made it up out of silver from the Comstock, but it paid back Abraham Lincoln the $8 to $9 million that we owed France, Germany, and England, for which we would probably be France, Germany, and England if we wouldn't have paid it.
Right.
And for that, Abraham Lincoln made a Nevada a state out of Utah. And a lot of people don't know that he was the founder and the father of the Republican Party.
Yes, he was.
Which people looked at the Republic differently during those days and during the days of George Washington.
Yeah.
Because it was formed originally as a republic.
Yes.
And then the democracy was the type of government that the republic would be. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So things get a little turned around as far as for terminology, but yeah, we do the show to bring people a history of the state of Nevada, and I recently made a very unusual find of some very large platinum deposits.
Wow.
And the platinum mineralization is the black mineralization that you see in here, and you can kind of see that there's also a kind of an inner lining of gold that runs through the platinum. And you can see these kind of black lines of this material. But platinum is a very important mineral to us today because it will be the key to the spaceships that we build in the future. This is some gold from the same area.
Yeah.
And this material comes out of the blue clay from Virginia City. And this is the type of gold that occurs at the Citro mine.
At the Citro mine, which is on the north end of Virginia City. And it's amazing the mineralization that has happened up there in the Comstock. It's so unusual.
It's really phenomenal. There's pieces of gold there that are the size of this table.
Amazing. Yeah, you were showing us some pieces last week when we were in the house, and it was just heavy with gold.
Yeah,
and it's just sitting there again to be found and to be
you brought
mined.
it up about the meteorology. See, the meteors, when they hit the Earth or whatever, they cracked open the upper workings of the core and let the water hit both, and then that formed hydrothermal steam, and then that would come up through the Earth and then just come through and just obliterate the rock.
Yeah.
And turn it just to mush. And that mush is filled with gold, silver, and platinum.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
amazing?
basically what it is. And some of it may have gotten a little bit silicified, but a whole lot of it is just very heavy black platinum full of gold.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of heat to get that platinum out of the rock, doesn't it? It takes a lot more than what gold or silver
It's
would
the
require.
surface of the sun.
Yeah. Oh, really?
You see, this material, as you guys were starting to talk a minute ago, the Earth was formed as it blew off of the sun, according to the Big Bang Theory, which I'm sure you've probably
Yeah, we've all heard of that. Sure, the Big Bang, not the TV show.
And then right after the Big Bang, we came out. The moon was shot just like a bullet right at us and rolled around on the Earth for a period of time, and then started to back away. And as it backed away, then water began to form from all the stuff that had come from the sun. The sun is basically made of water.
Oh.
It's run by hydrogen, just like our bodies run on hydrogen. So when hydrogen combines with oxygen, it forms water.
There you go.
And all rocks contain at least 6% water.
Well,
Some a lot more.
So we're very fortunate to be able to see that kind of mineral up there on the Comstock, and not very many places in the world have what you have in front of you there, especially platinum. I mean,
it
Montana,
just was not
maybe?
recognized at all in the past. And you see, most people, including me, would have looked at that black there and said, "Oh, that's argentite. That's silver."
Yeah.
Which I thought it was for a long time too.
Yeah, and the old-time miners probably did.
Yeah, the old-time miners did too, but they could never get any silver out of it because it don't melt silver out of there.
Right.
It just melts yuck out of there.
Yeah, they just tossed that off into the pile, right?
Throw it onto the dump. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So anyway, you're beginning.
So we're
to...
working on this stuff, and there's a lot of scientists around the area that are interested in this too.
Yeah. Now you have your museum up there at the Marshall Mint, and people can go in and actually see a close-up of that, right?
Exactly. And when we put one down here, we'll have 4 or 5 different platinum products next to platinum specimens.
Yeah.
The same with the gold.
Neat.
Some gold specimens next to the, and the same thing with the gemstones.
Well, now, while we're waiting for this to happen down here at the Reno Town Mall, your address up there at the Marshall Mint is what?
Yeah, it's 96 North C Street.
North C
First
Street.
place on your right as you come in from Reno.
Yes.
Or the last place on your left if you're coming from Carson.
We haven't said that for a while, but
No,
that's
I forgot that one.
And then we have
We
the
got a
Silver
hotel
Land.
there, too. You better get out there and stay there. I don't have it there just for pure charity. Get your sweetie and get up there.
Yeah. It's a great time of the year to be up there, too.
Yep.
It's a little bit cooler up there, but if you go up to the Silver Land, make sure you take in the historical side of the Comstock, because you really develop appreciation and a pride for where we're living here and the contribution it made, like you said earlier, to the United States, to the state of Nevada, and then the world beyond. So past, present, future, we've got some great things to look forward to up there.
Yeah.
Dave is with us today because we're going to talk about our entrepreneurs that have been here in the state. You being one, as we just mentioned, with the hotel and the stores and all that kind of thing. But you have a long history of being an entrepreneur in different ways. But our whole state started with entrepreneurs, whether it be up at the Comstock, but if we think about Reno, right, Dave?
Oh,
I mean,
Lakes Crossing,
the
first entrepreneur in town.
Yeah, Myron Lake.
Man, put us on the map, and that was all an entrepreneur adventure.
Yeah.
And the miners that just discovered the first deposits up there in the Comstock, those are entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
They were doing that for the love of finding something and having their own business and converting it into an income of some sort for them.
Yeah.
And making a life life out of it. So even from the very beginning, we were entrepreneur-minded here in Northern Nevada.
Yeah, and when Lake did his work over there on the river, he didn't have banks or anything to support him. He had to do that. That was his vision.
Yes.
He saw the need. He
put in the toll bridge.
Toll bridge and everything that went across that bridge, whether it be a chicken or a cow or person or wagon, paid something.
Yeah.
And he became one of the richest men in the United States, if not the richest for a
That's
while.
wild.
Isn't that amazing?
It's just a river crossing.
Yeah, a river crossing.
And it's not that big of a river.
No, it's not.
So
Certain
that's
times,
a real entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah, well, he got washed out a few times, I think. He had to keep making the bridge better. And then he built the structure there. There's a great book on that right now called The Genesis of Reno by Jack Harpster, the great author here in Northern Nevada. And he did a beautiful job of explaining that whole scenario there. But Myron Lake wasn't a very nice man, but he was a great businessman. And
he's kind of like a landlord, you know. You don't get to cross unless you pay me the rent for the property that I own to get across.
Exactly.
Well, you know, actually what really happened is that he just happened to own some very lucky land that was right by the railroad and by the river.
Yeah.
Which in those days sometimes was navigable.
Yeah.
So he had the entrance to the town, which was Highway 40 before over there.
Right there.
Yeah, he had what it takes to make it happen at that time.
Yeah. Good thing we had Myron Lake there. We wouldn't be here.
So that's the genesis of our entrepreneur spirit here in Northern Nevada.
Exactly. So from that, it just seemed, because of the Comstock, because of Myron Lake, it's always been a place where a person could come with an idea and actually put it together and make a success of himself. It doesn't need a college degree in order to do it. Maybe Myron Lake had one. I don't know. Probably not. But anyway, other parts of the country, I was back east not too long ago, and they were telling me, my relatives back there, some of them in business, they don't even interview a person unless they have a college degree. That's not so in Northern Nevada.
No, it's more about the spirit and your knowledge and your background. Experience is worth a lot more than a college degree.
Yeah.
You can learn a lot in a book, but until you put it into practical application, it's just theory.
Right.
So we are a bunch of real entrepreneurs from the time Myron Lake built that, and then we started having the bingo rooms, and then look at it, turned into all the casinos. Some of the first casinos. Was that some of the first casinos in the world?
I believe it was. I mean,
in the 40s and 50s here?
Right up here in Northern Nevada,
So
right outside the train station there. Once the trains came, then the casinos followed.
We were ahead of Vegas at that time, and those
way
were
ahead of Vegas.
Yeah, way ahead. So the Pappy Smiths and the Herald, the formed the Herald's Club.
It was smart to make it legal.
Yeah.
Think about the other places that didn't make it legal.
Yeah, absolutely.
They lost out and we won out of it.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned a couple of great entrepreneurs. There's many, many more, and we're going to talk about some of them as we go through the show, past, present, and future, because we have people, young millenniums that we know of in town that are doing some great things for the future. So we'll talk about that and many more things right after this on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Buy Nevada First Gift Shop and Visitor Center at the Reno Town Mall is the place to buy local Nevada-owned products. There is over 4,000 square feet of unique items to choose from. Art, jewelry, books, music, inventions, clothing, candy, pottery, toys, even Nevada-made wine and more. Why, you can even purchase a gift basket full of Nevada-owned products. Buy Nevada First Gift Shop, located at the Reno Town Mall, 4001 Virginia Street in Reno. Buy local first.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us!
Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go. All at Boutique Elegante.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected, with a large selection of beer and sports memorabilia, vintage toys, casino and brothel memorabilia, vent and glassware, Disney collectibles, historic comic books, jewelry, a great selection of vintage neon, new and enlarged collections throughout the store. Have fun with the whole family. Check out all the inventory in the store. Find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia in Reno.
Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go. All at Boutique Elegante.
Put another nickel in the old slot machine. All I want is a jackpot, jackpot, jackpot. Closer, sevens come closer. The nicest part of any melody. When that jackpot hits for me, put another nickel in your old slot machine. All I want is a lot of women and a big car and a big house.
All right, Larry Elliott, our resident musician.
At our age, yes, we are a museum.
Yes, we are. Well, Larry, welcome over to the show today.
I've got one quick joke.
Yeah.
Talking about entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Okay, so this guy's on a street corner, and he's got a hamburger in a box. It's a nice looking hamburger. And I said, well, how much do you want for that? $25,000. $25,000? Well, selling a hamburger for $25,000, that's impossible. He says, all I got to do is sell one.
That's right.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Well, when I was in the car business, we used to say, there's an ass for every seat.
I like it.
So,
real quick for all the viewers, though, I am an entrepreneur.
Yes, you are.
I came here as a single musician, a bass player, years ago.
Uh-huh.
I was on the road. I happened to get a little gig here, and I thought this place is really fit, for a guy that has an idea,
sure,
has some energy, some passion, put it all together, meet a few nice people that help you along the way, which was Northern Nevada is full of those.
They're welcoming, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
They're ready for it. Yeah.
Absolutely. As the years went by, I had a special events business. I still have the special events business, but I had a singing telegram business for 15 years, getting out there and making those lunch breaks with somebody's birthday.
Sure.
Happy occasions.
Yeah, great idea.
And providing jobs for an awful lot of entertainers.
Wonderful.
And entertainers have a hard time finding work.
That's right. They do.
Yeah.
Well, Reno for a long time was great for that. I mean, entertainers, they had the lounge acts and all that kind of thing because of the casino business, right?
Yes, and all of that has changed.
It's all changed. Everything's
Most
recorded.
of it's gone away.
Yeah.
But other stuff is here.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry.
So how long have you been doing it, Larry? How long have you been an entrepreneur in your own business?
Since I was 12 years old. I got the guitar for Christmas, and 2 weeks later, with that much, 2 weeks worth of ability, I decided to form a band.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And ever since then, it's
way to go.
Putting things together and people together. And
way
stuff.
to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And I've never really worked for anybody.
Wonderful.
I tried applying to Harrah's one time, to the Human Resources Department, and it was so funny. The guy looked at my form, and I hadn't thought about it. I got a client list that's 25 pages long. Nike, Guinness Brewery, on and on and on and on and on. But I've never worked for anybody. And he said, "Well, who have you worked for?" And I said, "Nobody." and I knew right then that I could see by the look in his eye that I wasn't going to get the position. But I went down to Human Resources and took their interactive personality test.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh my God, this isn't your first time at the rodeo, is it?" And I said, "No. I've done stuff with people for a long time, and knowing how to talk to people, as you do, John."
Yes.
I've always said that if John gets on the show, he can ask and answer all the questions.
No, I don't know about that. Roy knows a lot more knowledge. He has a lot more knowledge than I do. There's
probably all of us put together.
John and Jim are good talkers.
Yes.
They probably out-talk most anybody around if they wanted to.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Well, Larry, it's great to have you on the show because you're a wonderful example of what we're talking about. And you're on a smaller scale on the entrepreneur
I
side.
beg your pardon? There is no
Compared
such
to
thing as a small scale.
Well, we all bring something to the table, don't we? But I'm thinking of ones like Harris. You mentioned Harris before we started the show. Now, how did he get his start in Reno? He was here and
Just started small, and it just grew and grew and grew.
He had a bingo parlor.
Yeah.
bingo parlor.
Bingo.
Okay.
I mean, you know what that is? It's about the size of a hot dog stand.
Yeah, with some pieces of paper.
Yeah.
And
But he looked next door, Pappy.
No kidding.
Yeah, Pappy Harold.
Yeah, another one.
And we've all seen those films during World War II where Pappy, a lot of his employees went overseas, and he said, "Okay, stick up a sign, would you please? 3,000 miles to San Francisco,
Yeah.
3,527 to Harold's Club."
Yeah.
Harold's Club
It's
or
amazing.
bust.
They had him up in Montana. I think they had him in Jersey. I remember seeing him. Every single
Great
state.
marketing.
had it.
Yeah. And that's an entrepreneur that thought of that.
Yes, exactly. It was not, and that's why I was talking to you before about the nickels and dimes. Is that I've got a, I call it a prosperity can. Oh, by the way, that little piece of silver that you gave me sits right next to it. Brought me. But it did. Brought me a lot of good luck.
Yeah.
You put your spare change in there.
Yeah.
And it keeps turning into something.
Yeah.
If you need some advertisement, whatever you need.
Sure. Yeah.
And so it's not the money is the least of it, but the idea is the most important thing.
Right, right. It's nothing better than sitting around a table with a bunch of entrepreneurs and talking about ideas.
Brainstorming.
And I wonder how many times entrepreneurs have done that and taken it and run with it. Whether it be a Harris or a Pappy Smith or a John Esquaga. You think about John Esquaga. He was over there in Sparks, right? And he was a manager of some kind of lunchroom over there, right? A little cafe. And he just took it and ran with it. And look where it's at today.
Yep.
Yeah.
The man's
He had a good location once again.
Yeah, tremendous location.
And then with the bigger buildings in the building.
Yeah.
Norm Downey built almost all of those structures.
Norm from Q&D, another guy.
Yeah.
Do you know where Norm Deanda, where his first job was? You know where Wonder Street is? That runs off a mill. You know where the Wonder Bar is?
Sure.
Well, he did a kitchen remodel for a lady on that street, and that was his very first construction job. And from there,
talk about
look
a great
what he's
entrepreneur.
Today, he's just about does everything in Reno now.
Well, now his sons have taken over, so there's a lot of second generation entrepreneurship going on in Reno also. So
Absolutely. Joe Dutra,
Yes.
transplant from California, wanted to start a candy company. He was a tomato farmer or something over there in California. Come to Reno and started making candy.
We had Tom who started the brewery here too that was successful.
Right?
Oh, Tom's
Yes.
done great.
Yeah.
Other than Ictus beer and
The Icky
way ahead of everybody
IPA.
else. Yes, way ahead of the trend.
Yeah. And the other thing I like about Northern Nevada is that we find entrepreneurs that maybe weren't successful at their first try or their second try.
Sure.
But they eventually became successful because they never gave up their drive to have their own.
That's the
their own
difference
business.
between being an actual entrepreneur and somebody that tried and gave up and went back to getting a job and they said it's not for them. It's not for everybody. You've got to have some intestinal fortitude. You've got to have
You've got to have that extra
Yes,
DNA.
yes. A
And
little
your
drive. It's a
stomach
curse,
turns.
I think.
You don't sleep very well at night sometimes,
Yeah.
Wondering
But
what's going to happen.
you're a dreamer. You want to create things and improve things, and that's what entrepreneurship is
Let's
about.
talk about you for a few minutes, Dave.
Okay. Well,
You
thanks.
have a long history in Reno from a very young man.
I'm a third-generation Renoite.
Right.
So my grandma was born here in 1910, and my dad was born here, then me, and then my kids, and then their kids. So we're
now, was
we're
your
doing
dad
well.
an entrepreneur? Or
No,
did
he
work?
wasn't.
Where did they come from?
We came here in 1870 from Oregon. So somebody had to get a divorce, I believe. so another entrepreneur realization that we had here in
we were the divorce capital of the world.
This would be like a great grandfather.
Oh, your
that
great-great-grandfather.
and then they had my grandmother, and there was and so in those days she lived in a little house on Vine Street. That was the edge of town. You know, those houses are still there. She was born in one of those houses on Vine Street. Our family farm was near Plum Lane in Arlington.
Well, that's right.
40 acres there.
Truckee Meadows was that.
You guys were
They lost that in the Depression, so we were like a lot of people. I think they had money tied up in Washoe Bank, and it went under. And
Washoe Bank, never heard that name
took a lot
before.
of people with them, and so we're just blue collar workers here in town. My folks were just good, hard working people, and I got my first job at 16 years old. Up at what's the Bonanza Casino today, half of that was a grocery store because there wasn't a highway. So Virginia Street still went north. If you lived in Lemon Valley, Stead, Cold Springs out there, you had to stop at this grocery store, and that's with the meat hanging on the hook and the sawdust on the floor. The old style grocery store. I started there at 16 years old. Did a few years in the grocery business and went on at 20. By the time I was 22, I opened my own grocery store. So I am cursed with the entrepreneur spirit.
Where was the grocery store at?
My grocery store was at Kitski and Vassar. La Piñata Mexican restaurant was on one side. I was on the corner on the other side. Right now, in the exact location is a Mountain Mike's Pizza.
Okay.
That's my exact location where I had a grocery store with a full delicatessen in it. And I was 22, 23 years old.
And how successful were you?
I did fine. I was a franchise out of Chicago, and the franchise ended up falling apart here. The regional director didn't send the money back, and they cut him off and cut everybody off, and it kind of left me high and dry. And so it was best to just close and walk away. Unfortunately, it was a fairly successful store. I had a great delicatessen there, did a great sandwich business, had all the... Vassar was booming. A lot of the bank offices were there in those days. Wooster would come over. The kids would come over. I just let them come in at 100 at a time.
I would imagine so.
And we did well. So I started in the grocery business, but man, oh man, I have a long resume of things I've gotten accomplished.
So Dave, did your folks come from Great Britain or over in that area?
England. England to Bangor, Maine. They got off at Maine for some reason and made their way from Maine to Kentucky to Oregon.
All right, let's break here, and we'll come back and get more into your story, Dave, on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Stay tuned.
Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go. All at Boutique Elegante.
Hi, I'm Chris from Past Time at Somewhere in Time. Are you looking for that one-of-a-kind gift that you can't find in the big department store? I have something for all occasions. Got stuff? Need to know whether or not it has value or how to sell it? We can help with that too. Come and see me Tuesday or Wednesday at Past Time in Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street in Reno. Just ask for Chris.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Men, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang Series. Wish depicts the Wild Mustangs herd running free, mare and its foal, the Wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go. All at Boutique Elegante.
we're in the money. Let's lend it, spend it, send it rolling along. We're in the money. Come on, my honey. We got a lot of what it takes to get along.
Right. Larry Elliott, thank you.
Spend it, lend it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You know, entrepreneurs don't always make a lot of money, but they have the satisfaction of doing their own thing. Sometimes the money is secondary to the satisfaction of having a success.
Well, the difference is with the entrepreneur mentality that I possess, if you have a job, that job is your ceiling.
Yeah.
So an entrepreneur is always wanting the big one. There are the people that are wealthy in the world made it themselves most of the time. And so you always come up with that big idea that will make you a lot of money. Whereas if you're just an employee, you're stuck there. You know that that's the ceiling, and that's going to be your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Unless you do something to change that. So an entrepreneur mentality is a dreamer, and they dream of good incomes, and they want to be role models in the community, like a lot of people that have helped make Reno have become.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
that's why entrepreneurship is just so important, especially here in Northern Nevada, is the backbone of from Myron Lakes all the way up to all the casinos that we have now.
Yeah.
And they're all entrepreneur adventures.
Well, let's continue our story about you. So you had a delicatessen. That was your first success, and then I wouldn't call it a failure, but you had to walk away from that.
Right, and I did, and just I was in the service industry, mostly grocery, a lot of retail, Costco, this and that. But with my entrepreneur mentality, I put myself in a position to, I was a part-time drag racer out at the Top Gun Raceway. Well, I ended up being a motorsports promoter. Next thing I know, I'm putting on jet ski races at Pyramid Lake. I went from a racer to a promoter.
Wow.
And then I built a motocross track out at the Top Gun Raceway. And then that led to a guy I met in Fernley, Mr. Cable there. He said, hey, here's 500 acres and here's some tractors. Go build a racetrack. So I never touched heavy equipment in my life, but an entrepreneur just does things, You don't go to school. I got on a D9 cable-operated loader, a dozer, and a really rickety old 944 loader, and I built Reno Fernley Raceway.
Isn't that
so? We had about 8
still in business
tracks.
today, right?
Still hanging in there. The location ended up being not the best for it. Single-lane access through Fernley is going to cut off a lot of traffic. So they haven't made it as big as they could. But the guy gave me the dirt. I built a racetrack. That's what an entrepreneur would do.
Right.
Another opportunity, an auto shop down on Wells Avenue working on German cars. Bought this big showroom south of town, and I was in the car business at the time. And an old buy here, pay here car lot, believe it or not. A friend of mine, an entrepreneur, started his own car lot, and he said, hey, come help me do this. Man, I was making money right and left selling heater cars. These folks moved out south, built a big showroom, didn't know how to run a car lot. They're auto mechanics. So they said, okay, here's your car lot, empty room, but we don't have any money. So I started Sport House, exotic car showroom, and it's a consignment car lot.
Yeah, and that was successful for many
and
years.
it's still going on 16, 17 years later.
Isn't that amazing?
People pay to put their car there versus going and buying the Ferraris and the BMWs and the Cobras and the Porsches that they have there. And what a reversal of a business model. And so that's very successful. So they gave me an empty showroom. I built a sport house.
Yeah, that's a wonderful
thing. In fact, I built it twice. They sold it and it got closed, and Joanne asked me last year to come back, and I opened it again for the second time.
Yeah.
And so it's just an honor. And then I met this gentleman named Rob Roth at the Reno Town Mall, and I had just had an event in there, partnered with Eddie Floyd there at Scott's radio station. We had filled the mall in December with local vendors to buy things local for Christmas. And Mr. Ross saw what I was doing. He said, hey, you want a store featuring all this? I said, yeah, right, give me a store. Well, next thing I know, I got a 4,000 square foot room there in the Reno Town Mall, empty.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling entrepreneur, so around with $2,500, I started the Buy Nevada First gift shop. And, man, it turned into this great machine supporting over 300 entrepreneurs. I have 300 entrepreneurs in there.
Amazing.
5,000 different products, all Nevada-owned, most of it made in Nevada, but they're all Nevada-owned businesses.
Yeah. I know it's been kind of a slow start over there for you, but it seems like the longer you're there, the more it's become known.
I'm in my third year, and, boy, it is coming. I'm having a great year.
Yeah.
I'm also, because I called it Buy Nevada First Gift Shop and Visitor Center, it Googles very well. half of my business are out-of-towners.
Yeah.
So the mall, I attract those visitors, and I'm the welcoming committee for Reno, and I really love representing Reno. I ask everybody where you're from.
Yeah.
I've got a big map on the wall of the United States and a little map of the world, and I've got pins all over this map for where people have been into my store.
That's amazing.
And so I'm the welcoming committee for Reno. Many times I might be the only one they talk to besides the hotel clerk.
Yeah.
And so I ask them what are their interests. I send them all to Virginia City, and I send them all to Lake Tahoe, and I tell them about the Marshall Mint. Silverland Hotel is a great place to stay. Go spend a night up there under the stars. But if you're going to go to Tahoe, I send them all to Zephyr Cove, and I say, go out on that paddle wheeler.
Sure.
How many locals haven't even done that?
Yeah.
You go on that. What a view of Lake Tahoe.
Oh, yeah.
So they take that home. And so if they go to Virginia City, they're taking home with them that Wild West experience. And then if they go to Lake Tahoe, they're taking home this amazing, beautiful, most beautiful spot on the planet idea of how great it is in the Reno area.
Yeah.
So I love promoting that.
Yeah. So it's great. And that has led you now to another idea.
The next concept.
Apparently,
Mr. Rob Roth is going to let me have a 20,000 square foot room. So I'm moving from 4,000 to 20,000 square feet this month. And what I'm doing is taking my store with my 300 entrepreneurs, putting it in there as an anchor tenant. And then I have space to rent to other entrepreneurs that want to set up shop. There's room for 50 to 60 other businesses that'll be in there.
Isn't that amazing?
And I really haven't gone public with it yet, and I'm 3/4 full.
Wow.
There'll be little antique shops, people that gather things that want to resell them.
Yeah.
A lot of so what I've created is 4 districts in there. A Nevada Garment District, that's never existed, but there's a lot of clothing made here. And then we've got the Nevada Craft Expo. We've got the Nevada Art Scene. I'll have a giant art gallery. And then I we created a Nevada Startup City.
Wow.
So we can foster startups. I'm on the board with Entrepreneur Nevada, which is, they're called ESOs, Entrepreneur Support Organizations, and we make sure that we're all communicating with each other and providing startup support. That's a big, big, big movement nowadays.
Sure. So we were visiting with some millenniums who bought the old Oakman store over there on Wells, I guess that
Ryland.
That's on Ryland.
Wells and Ryland.
And it's kind of an incubator concept,
it is.
Except it's more for professional businesses.
Yeah, a little co-working space. You get an affordable desk.
Yeah.
And it's a nucleus of people where they support each other.
Sure.
And
and they are on the ball.
Yes.
We talk about millenniums sometimes, and we think about them as being in their parents' basement, letting them pay the rent and provide the food and everything. But we met some yesterday that are totally opposite of that.
Yes.
And they are going to be the entrepreneurs of modern day and future for Reno.
We are really, I know Edon is working hard at attracting entrepreneurs to get them to come here and start up. And then, of course, getting businesses to move their headquarters here so that those entrepreneur adventures are headquartered in the state.
Yeah.
And we are just on the roll like never before.
Yeah.
Edon is doing a great job. The city of Reno, all the way up to Mayor Hillary, is doing a great job for startups.
I think it's just I was back east, back in Jersey, where you, Roy, used to live for a number of years. I was raised there.
Joyzy.
But everything's so regimented in those cosmopolitan areas, and people are just happy to get on a ferry and go from New Jersey over to New York and put in their 12 hours and 4 hours of commute and come home and do that for 40, 50 years and just be paid a salary. And so they don't have that imaginative mind that the people in Nevada have. It's so obvious, and I feel sorry for them, because these people are smart, but they don't think outside the box. Well, my father traveled to New York every day, so I guess I'll travel to New York every day. They just don't open themselves up.
The thing about it is, though, John, is over the
Move
past
that microphone too.
There's been a movement of people from the rural to the cities. And 70 million people over the past 2 years have moved from rural to city in the United States.
And that's sad.
Unfortunately, they can't find a job out there in the rural area.
Right.
Whereas Nevada is a rural community, but it's a special one, and it's a very special one because it produces almost 10% of all the gold that is produced on the planet every year.
Yeah.
Even though none of it stays here, it's still it's a $15 to $18 billion a year business.
Yeah, it's fantastic. In fact, you have some ideas about making it even bigger and better by putting a refinery
here with the state.
So all the gold and silver and platinum stays right here in the state instead of going other places.
Made into a product here.
I'm amazed that has not happened a long time before are thinking about it. It's something that
should have been here from the beginning.
Should have been here from the beginning, but I guess there's the established places around the globe where people send gold to get it refined. So
the people that are really expert in that field that make up money, they make up most of all the money in the world.
Yeah.
Great Britain makes up 78% of all the currencies that's produced on the planet.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, so they don't want to see a refinery here in Reno.
Well, they're going to be the ones to build it for me.
Oh, they would.
So
yeah,
we're net service.
Because if you have the refinery, then all those ancillary businesses like the coin engravers and all that would surround that kind of refinery.
More entrepreneurs
would come to town. See,
well, it might be a way to take the U.S. Mint private. With our current administration.
Yeah.
Because they're really doing a lousy job.
They're doing
Yeah. Well, that'd be something. Well, we'd like to see that happen.
Yeah.
What's the phone number again, John? They should call in.
Call in. Yeah, right. But we have, we have the past, we have the present, like you, Dave, and Larry and myself. I have a business myself. It was just an idea.
Yes.
I worked for corporate media for a number of years, probably 30, 35 years altogether, and got sick and tired of it, and gave my 2-week notice and walked out the door, went home and told my wife I had quit, and she says, what are we going to do now?
It's scary.
It's scary. But, your juices start running, and you just start doing different things. And it's funny, I went out and got my insurance license. Here I've been in media for 35 years, right? So I left, and I was scrambling to come up with an idea. So I went out and got my insurance license, thinking I was going to sell insurance. And I said, after I got past the test and everything, why am I doing this? Starting all over in the insurance business when I already know media. So I decided to open up Jobo and Associates, and here we are 8 years later.
Agency. Yes, doing very well.
All right, we'll be back with more Old Tales of Nevada, past and present, right after we hear from our couple of great sponsors, like Buy Nevada First Gift Shop. Okay? Stay tuned.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Hi, I'm Hugh Roy Marshall from the Marshall Mint, Virginia City and Reno, Nevada. Come to introduce you to the Let 'em Run Wild Horse Mustang Series. Which depicts the wild Mustang's herd running free, the mare and its foal, the wild Mustangs fighting for love. These ingots are a limited edition double-struck product on 1 troy ounce 3-pine silver and are only available at the Marshall Mint, Virginia City, or Reno, Nevada. Get your piece of history today.
Buy Nevada First Gift Shop and Visitor Center at the Reno Town Mall is the place to buy local Nevada-owned products. There is over 4,000 square feet of unique items to choose from. Art, jewelry, books, music, inventions, clothing, candy, pottery, toys, even Nevada-made wine and more. Why, you can even purchase a gift basket full of Nevada-owned products. Buy Nevada First Gift Shop, located at the Reno Town Mall, 4001 Virginia Street in Reno. Buy local first.
Boutique Elegante presents a beautiful collection of summer fashions for every occasion. A day at the lake, a tropical holiday, patio parties, or special dinners. You'll find the perfect ensemble, add jewelry and accessories, and you're set to go. All at Boutique Elegante.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds. We bought our building, lower the overhead. That means everyday low prices to you.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. A store full of the unexpected, with a large selection of beer and sports memorabilia, vintage toys, casino and brothel memorabilia, vent and glassware, Disney collectibles, historic comic books, jewelry, a great selection of vintage neon, new and enlarged collections throughout the store. Have fun with the whole family. Check out all the inventory in the store. Find the unexpected that will be treasured for all time at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia in Reno.
Hi, I'm Chris from Past Time at Somewhere in Time. Are you looking for that one-of-a-kind gift that you can't find in the big department store? I have something for all occasions. Got stuff? Need to know whether or not it has value or how to sell it? We can help with that too. Come and see me Tuesday or Wednesday at Past Time in Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street in Reno. Just ask for Chris.
You have got to come and see our bridal designer collection here at Precision Diamonds.
silver the miners deliver to the queen of the Comstock lode. Cold in the winter, it made miners shiver. She'd trade them whiskey for gold. Sing, I know things are tough, but you only live once here at the Long Branch Saloon.
All right, Larry Elliott.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah.
Entrepreneurial-wise, songwriters are the absolute epitome of dreamers.
Oh, yeah.
Except for miners.
Yeah, yeah.
I bought a
microphone
that has that in it.
Larry,
up in the Yukon.
You got to have the mic over there.
On one side, Yukon on the other.
Oh, really? I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what. You get the right song with the right singer.
At the right time. Boy,
Yeah.
the timing.
Yeah. Well, who's that singer up there on the Comstock? The country singer that we all know well, that I can't remember her name.
Oh,
Lacey J.
Lacey J. Dalton.
Yeah,
she's
she's
wonderful.
up there. She's made a lot of money. Remember that song, what, 17th Street or 16th Street?
Yeah, 16th Avenue.
16th Avenue, yeah. I'm so good with
And she helps the wild horses a lot.
a lot of wild
nowadays,
horses. But
yeah.
she's an entrepreneur. You know, she started
There
from
used
nothing.
to be the singer up there called Sierra Dan, and I got a lot of my color from him because
okay.
you know I come up there all serious, you know, road musician, and
Yeah.
sing. You know, I sing all the old Western songs.
Yeah.
And I watched this guy. He stood at the door of what is now your mint. It was the assay office then.
Assay
It was
office,
a bar.
right. Uh-huh.
And he would only do 15, 30 seconds of a song, and he'd be talking to people as they walked by. You know, I mean, he you know, I was all possessed. Oh, you always sing a song all the way. The heck with that. And he would announce to people, okay, for the next 3 minutes, it's going to be free drinks for anybody with a valid Uruguay driver's license. Anyone from Uruguay, we're going to give you a free cocktail. Of course, there's no one from Uruguay up there.
We hope not yet.
No.
But that's
used to
great.
be very common up there, calling them barkers.
Oh yeah.
Barkers,
a musical barker.
Lucy had one outside her Red Garden Saloon.
Hey, it works. Why not do it, you know?
Sure.
Heck. Well, you never know what's going to happen, what's going to work, you know. Well, we've talked about a lot of the entrepreneurs in the past. We talked about you, Dave, being one of the current entrepreneurs, as I am, as you are, Larry, and you, Roy. But we have some great things happening out there. For example, at TRI, you know, these guys are coming in there with
well, talk about an entrepreneur named Elon Musk.
Yeah, talk about a visionary.
Guy that can make rockets.
Yeah.
You know, cars.
Yeah. Lance Gilman. The guy who bought that land on a whim.
It was just a ranch. Just one big ranch in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and they were driving down I-80 with somebody, I think it was one of the real estate guys here in town, one of the big developers, Dermody. And thank you, Jim.
Another successful local entrepreneur.
That's right.
Hugely successful.
Yeah, so he looks over and he says, that's for sale. And it used to be the Gulf Oil Company's hunting reserve out there, 250,000 acres, and they had to move it and sell it because of tax changes. And so they paid like $20 million for all of this land, really didn't know what the heck they were going to do with it. He said, well, make an industrial park out of it, you know? So they put in all the infrastructure they needed, and son of a gun if they didn't sell their first piece for $20 million.
Right, and what he did is he bought that, and then the economy turned.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about Q&D earlier. He hired the Q&D people that were pretty much laid off. There wasn't any construction.
Yeah.
He hired them to come run the equipment to keep them on the payroll.
Wow.
So that they put in the infrastructure while there was nobody buying anything.
Yeah.
They put the money into that infrastructure so that when it came back, boom, you just go and put in a building and infrastructure.
Now, this guy is probably going to make Story County probably one of the richest counties in the world. I mean, between the mining up there on the Comstock and the industrial center that Lance is putting together there, what is there, something like 270 companies there now?
It's crazy. And when he took over that project and the county, they were broke. They were almost to lose the county and become half Lion and half Washoe.
Yeah.
So,
they almost had to go to Uroy to borrow money.
So
they had to actually go to Lance to have him buy that Mustang property. because they wanted that brothel to stay
for the tax base.
For the tax base, they needed it.
Yeah, so those are all great entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
and I'd like I'll take a minute and explain how that works. Why is supporting entrepreneurs good for the economy?
Yeah.
And so when I started the Buy Local movement 6 years ago, we needed jobs, and I come across a website and did some research. Supporting the locally owned independent businesses, entrepreneurs, is the number one way to create local jobs.
Okay.
Because the profits stay in the area. It's called the local economic multiplier. The profits from the business owner stays in the community, and that money changes hands about 4 times before the taxes eat it up or it leaves the area. But also it's the supply chain in. A mom and pop typically supports other mom and pops versus the franchises have central purchasing. That's why you buy a franchise. You get this huge discount on your supplies because somebody back east is buying 1 million pounds of hamburger when somebody here locally is buying it by 25 pounds at the time. So the supply chain is local. So there's entrepreneurs on the way in and then the profits on the way out. So say Nevada was a bucket. In the shape of Nevada, it was a bucket. Tourists come put their money in. We have some nice corporate partners here like Elon Musk and Microsoft. They put money in the form of payroll. But then when you go and support a chain store with your purchase, none of their supply chain was local, and the profits go back to corporate headquarters. So there's money that's in the Nevada-shaped bucket today, and you went to that coffee shop that's the chain, well, it goes from the profits left Nevada and was deposited in their account up in Seattle.
Right.
So supporting local mom and pops take money that's already here and recirculates that and keeps the economy sustainable. And if during this next building boom, if we don't pay attention and keep and support mom and pop, the Nevada-based, locally owned independent businesses, we're going to end up looking like every strip mall in California because they're going to come and take over.
Well, here's the thing that's happening as we're seeing is that the big box stores are having a terrible time. I was watching TV this morning, the Business Channel, and they said that Penny's is dead man's walking. That's the way the investors feel about it right now. There's other stores, Sears and Kmart, and they're having very, very difficult times. Even the big giant Walmart has had to change the way it does business now.
Because of online shopping. And so here locally, where we've created a mess out of that online shopping is we created our support system, our infrastructure to support our schools and our roads and our parks with sales tax. Well, then 10 years ago, 15 years ago, in comes online shopping. It was a loophole. It wasn't around when they created the laws that created the sales tax. So all of a sudden, there's no tax on online shopping, and it grows every year exponentially. Well, there's billions of dollars in sales, millions in lost revenue to the school system, and they're wondering where the money went. You lost millions in revenue because of online shopping. Now we're going to lose millions of revenue to the rent that the big stores are paying, the employees the big stores are supporting. So there's a big change coming in the old retail world.
It's going to be interesting to see what these big malls are going to do, like Meadowood Mall.
I got a question for you, Dave. Now I love that mall because number one, it sits right kitty corner with the convention center, the Atlantis,
Reno Town Mall.
Yes, and it has the kind of parking that everyone loves.
Right there.
I can park right there. 12 steps. I'm into the
I love that
facility.
Mall.
Okay, so now on the opposite side of what you're saying about online shopping, are you going to develop some kind of online facility for the people in your new
We'll have
store?
a catalog. Yes, everything has to be on a catalog, so we'll
Online,
promote the catalog.
You have
but
to
some
do
of these
digital.
things are stuff that you really want to go touch. There'll always be an element where you want to go touch what you're going to buy before you order it. And in my case, I want you to meet the person that made it. So that's why we're setting up all these mom and pop shops. Under one roof, there'll be 40, 50, 60 entrepreneurs where you can go talk to them how they made that jewelry, talk to them where they bought that antique. And so that part of it, you're still going to have that interaction. And so I think we're going to survive. And our anchor tenant in that mall is Burlington, who is not hurting. They're actually expanding.
That's one of the best stores in their chain.
They're doing very well. That's why they're opening a second store in Sparks.
Right. They did cut down on their square footage, though.
They cut down on all 1,000 stores. So what they thought they could do, and I think they are doing it, is they can do same-store sales with a smaller footprint. And this store is actually sales are up in a smaller footprint, so they know what they're doing. So they're going to make another $50 million.
But I think you're onto something. At least your landlord is there.
I love Rob.
Rob, he's with these community malls, like with the Marshall Mint being in there, you guys being in there. It's the kind of place that you feel very comfortable with, and
there's more to it. It's he made that a gift to the community.
Yeah.
He owns several malls and several commercial buildings. He's doing very well from here to Seattle. He made that a gift to the community by keeping the library open when the county didn't have the money to pay the rent.
Right.
He kept it open. He has made sure that with access to health is headquartered there. Job Connect is headquartered there. There's a computer school to help people get retrained so they can go get employment.
Right.
The welfare office is behind us. So he's made that a very community-oriented mall. Eddie Floyd's radio station.
Also, the guy loves it enough here that he's moved here.
And he's moved here.
Yeah, how about that?
Yes.
Offspring are quickly marrying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're all part of his operation. And so it's a
and
family-run
you have that very
business.
successful shoe store there.
The Proper Fit has been there forever. It was Birkenstock. And
local guy.
Mike bought that, and he's doing very well. We can't wait for the Marshall Mint to get over there. I just know that's going to be a huge draw for tourists to come get a flavor of Virginia City while you're in Reno.
Yeah.
And to see the coin set that he has. And I just can't wait for that to open. And we're so close. This is all going to fall into place by the Christmas shopping season this year. The new store, my new store, with all these new places to shop, keeping the money here, keep it local. So whatever you're going to do, I ask people, before you spend for every expense, for every dime, for every credit card that you're going to spend, ask yourself, is this a locally owned business? Am I supporting Nevada, or am I part of the problem and going to a corporate store and the profits leave the area?
Yeah. What I hear from people who don't shop local is that it costs more to do it, and the selection isn't as great as if I went to a Macy's or if I went to a Penny's or whatever.
That's a funny little stereotype, but the truth is that if you ask a local business owner, more often than not, he can match the price. He will match the price or beat it. I found quite often you can beat it. And also, the selection goes like this. If you tell a business owner, this is what I want, he'll go get it. The chain store is going to say, this is what we have, take it or leave it.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of a misconception there. You'll get the better service. You'll get the more knowledgeable service. You'll get the reputation. The guy lives here, and he cares about his business.
Well, like Marshall Mint, they have this estate jewelry department in the store, and if you want to get some fantastic jewelry, one of a kind, I bought some for my wife at very reasonable prices. You'll never get it at the chain store. You'll only get it right there at the Marshall Mint. I'm telling you, this is honest to God truth.
No, it's true.
And my wife just loves the jewelry because nobody else has it. You know,
most jewelry stores are way overpriced.
Way overpriced, and they have a certain genre of inventory. You can't get the special stuff.
Well, they mark that stuff up 400-500% sometimes, 200%, 300%.
Exactly. Well, they mark it up 25. You know. Anyway, we got to close. Great conversation about entrepreneurs.
Yes,
We're all entrepreneurs here, and we want to encourage other people to take that step and become. There's so many advantages to it and satisfaction. And plus, you bring pride to yourself, you bring pride to the community, and that's part of our big mission here on Old Tales in Nevada.
And also, inexpensive and affordable advertising is the key to success.
That's right, Nick. You call Jobo and Associates.
That's right.
224-5838. There you go.
What was that number again?
224-5838.
5838.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us as an audience. We want to invite you back next week for another episode of Old Tales in Nevada. We get some great shows coming up, by the way, in August and September. So see you then. And in the meantime, for all of us here on the platform, we want to wish everybody a great Nevada day. See you soon.